The year was 2010. I just moved to Bombay. I had a flashy new business school degree, a cool new job, and exactly 0 friends in the city. I lived in a rented apartment in a place so remote that every day was a struggle to get an auto rickshaw. What's an auto rickshaw, you ask? Well, if you live in Bombay, then you think of it as a Ferrari. If a Ferrari had 3 wheels and no doors. Which is tragic because there is no shortage of people or autos in Bombay. This one particular day was harder than normal. I had been waiting for an hour and there was no one willing to drive me home. It had gotten dark, street lights were non-existent, and I felt stranded. When one auto driver agreed to drive me home, I got in, and I noticed a woman waiting at the bus stop. She'd been there for a while. She also looked stranded, and while I didn't know her, I knew that feeling. So I asked my auto rickshaw to stop. I looked outside, and I said, "Hey, can I drop you somewhere?" She got in, we started talking, and halfway through the ride, we realized she didn't just live in my neighborhood. She lived in the same building as me, 4 floors above. Her name was Shilpi. She was the first friend I made in a city of 20 million. 2 weeks after this, I'm at work, it's late in the afternoon, my phone rings, and Shilpi's calling. So I think, why is she calling me in the middle of a workday? But I answered the call, and thank God I did. She said, "Ria, come home immediately." Now in that moment, I knew exactly what had happened. See, earlier in the morning, my building was having water issues, which is a polite way of saying there was none. I had turned on every tap in the house, the kitchen, the shower, the bathroom, but there was not a trickle, and I just couldn't take a shower and go to work, so I left in a rush. But I did close all the taps before I left. I closed all the taps except one. Now, sometime in the afternoon, the building resolved the water issue and water started flowing through the taps. And while I was at my desk, my apartment had slowly become an inside of a swimming pool. I ran home. I got there. I was on the floor, and outside my apartment, Shilpi and her husband were waiting for me. I reached in my bag to take out my keys, and I realized, in my rush that morning, I left the keys inside. So now I was standing outside a flooded apartment with nowhere to go in a city where I knew no one. Except I did know someone, because I had stopped an auto rickshaw 2 weeks ago. Her husband sprang into action. He found a locksmith, he got a duplicate key made, and then we entered my apartment. Now, before I show you what we saw, I feel the need to explain myself, which is that I was a new graduate. I was being extremely frugal. I had just moved in, so I didn't have furniture. What I did have was a mattress, and I had that in the living room because that's where I slept. So when we walked in, this is what we saw. My mattress was floating in the living room like a lost ship. On top of that mattress was a book, P.S. I Love You. I didn't feel loved in that moment. And on top of the book were my keys. I wanted to cry, but there was no time. I went and I turned off the kitchen tap, which I had left open, and Shilpi and her husband took buckets and buckets of water and poured it down the toilet drain. We mopped the floor and made it as dry as possible. And the thing is, we did all of this in darkness, because when your apartment is flooded, you cannot switch on the lights. Shilpi and her husband didn't leave my side that day. They asked me to come upstairs and have dinner with them, stay the night. We'll take care of the mattress tomorrow, they said. I honestly don't know what I would have done without them that day. I don't know how I would have found a locksmith. I don't know who I would have called to unflood my house. I don't know where I would have slept. All because I stopped an auto rickshaw 2 weeks ago. So this is what I want you to learn from my experience. If there's anything that you can take away from this, it's this. Remember to look up. We live in a world where we walk with our earbuds in, our heads down, and we call it being focused. But it's not focus. It's a blindfold. We are so busy trying to be successful and productive that we forget to become available. Success is great, productivity is good, but your degree won't keep you dry when the water rises. Your job title won't hold a mop. Only humanity can do that. The empathy to see someone else's struggle and the compassion to act on it. I have survived on the kindness and warmth of strangers. Being kind, being helpful, isn't an errand. It's an investment in your future so the universe can pay it back to you when you need it the most. This world is constantly trying to keep you distracted. They sell you ads, their social media, but the greatest gift that you can give someone is the gift of your undivided attention. So when you leave this room, make that your superpower. Be the person who notices and helps. If you see someone sitting alone in the cafeteria, join them. If your classmate's struggling with work, school load, help them. If you see a stranger holding a heavy bag running, keep the lift door open. You can do small acts of kindness wherever you are in everyday life. And you need to build your village before you need it. Because when the flood comes, and one day it won't be your accolades that will pull you out of the water. It'll be the hands of the people you helped along the way. Sometimes the best investment you can make is actually just looking up and asking, hey, can I drop you somewhere? Thank you for listening.